Welcome, I'm Devil Sniper, and today I'm bringing you episode number 21 of our career mode with West Ham United. We're going to start off with an FA Cup game at home against Sunderland, and the one thing you will see is the faith and belief in our youth system, our youth players. The team is completely changed up. We're going to be taking a huge risk. It could backfire, but honestly, I have faith and belief in the ability of my players, especially the young lads. We have some cracking potential, especially with Chambers and Berkey. I think they're going to be sensational centre-backs, though I do feel Chambers is more suited to that right-back position. Of course, we've got Bastos, Mullin, Leggett, Lee, who I'd love to see break through, but that's the lineup we're going with. Lee, Cole up top with Nolan for the experience. Leggett, Mullin and Bastos in that midfield. Chambers, Burke, Alfred Montano and O'Brien across the back line. Of course, we're going with Bentley in goal. And I've got to say, Bentley has astounded me this season. I bought him in as literally, as a proper backup keeper. He might get the odd cup game, he might not, but he really has astounded me. When he's played, he has been absolutely sensational and pulled off some world-class saves. But saying that, in the first 2 minutes of the game, Bastos is extremely over-exuberant with the first challenge, but that's what I want to see from my young players, especially from Bastos. I want him to be a fearful CDM. I want him to get in amongst it and show passion, show power, and show that he's not bothered who they are, who the players are put in front of him, that he will just be physical and do his job. The same with Leggett. I want to see Leggett be the box-to-box player that I believe he can be, and of course I want to see Mullin be that dream player who can just create so much because he's got the ability. There was Berkey getting a great defensive block. The corner was swung in by Sunderland. Nothing really came for it. They did keep good ball retention from the corner, but our defensive organisation is absolutely fantastic. The only problem is we do get drawn across. O'Brien makes a bit of an error there, gets drawn across, but Bentley, as I said, he's just made a world-class save. The boy has astounded me with his ability, absolute ability to pull off save after save when required. But Coolidge with the ball, looking to break forward, knocks it forward into Nolan. Nolan trying to play the ball through into Elliott, but Elliott Lee just lacks that little bit of pace. If he had a little bit more pace, he would be so devastating. The first half drew to a close, and it was a little bit of a subdued 0-0 scoreline. But when you consider the team we've put out, and it's no disrespect to our own players, essentially Sunderland should be beating this side because Sunderland are using their first team. We're using essentially our reserve team, and I believe so much in our players. They're so good. But Mullin knocking that ball down the right-hand side into Bastos. Bastos feeding that ball back into Mullin. Mullin's so cool, calm and collected, knocks it into Leggett. Leggett plays the ball into Lee, continues his run. Lee back into Leggett, and the ball is in the back of the net. Absolutely sensational. That is what Leggett is all about for me. He can be the box-to-box midfielder I want him to be. Elliott Lee, fantastic positioning from the centre-forward. He drops into the gap. He drops 5 yards off the centre-back in a world of space. Leggett spots that, continues his run, and that is a cool, calm, collected finish when required. But that was all set up by Mullin. Mullin knocking that ball out to Bastos and then taking it back inside. And for such a young lad, that composure is so very, very important. But all it really did was spur Sunderland into life. But the experience of Morgan Alfred Montano on that right back position was sensational. Nolan tried to play a nice little ball through, but the one thing we did do was power pressure them. Coldie getting in their face. Nolan getting in their face. Lee getting in their face. The ball knocked down to Nolan. Nolan knocks it inside to Carlton Cole. The ball just doesn't run through him. Elliott Lee with the chip just doesn't go over the players and into the back of it, which would have been sensational. But it was just great play from the lads, great determination. The ball with Leggett, knocking it inside into Nolan. Nolan having to come back, and it's just dumped on the floor. But the referee decided that was enough, and the 58th minute goal from Leggett was enough to see us through. The statistics are sensational in my personal opinion. 85% pass accuracy from the young lads is sensational. They dominated the game with 54% possession, but I've got to say, Sunderland with 90% pass accuracy was phenomenal. If they dominated the game, we probably would have lost. But Bentley has to be man of the match. He really did pull off some magnificent saves, and that most important save early in that first half was just absolutely world class, absolutely world class. So you've got to ask yourself, is Adrian actually going to be sort of now slightly concerned? Because that was a hell of a performance, to be fair, by the young man Bentley. So we're into the transfer window. We've got only 10 hours remaining. The players on the shortlist you are looking at are all from you wonderful, wonderful guys. Absolutely fantastic array of players, some absolutely astounding players with 6 months contracts remain, some really interesting players such as Yeli Vossen, a player that has interested me since FIFA 13. Yes, all the way back at FIFA 13 is a player that has absolutely interested me. But I did go with an over resounding sort of push towards Javier Hernandez. As we know, at Real Madrid in real life, he's going back to Manchester United, but Manchester United are looking to offload him, and West Ham are in the actual hunt for Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, which if they pull off and actually buy him would be sensational. And he would fit well in our current team because we have been struggling up top to score goals. That is one of the biggest issues we've had, is scoring goals. So that gives the players that we have currently enough time to sort of, play for their position, play for their right to be at the club. That's if we can get Javier Hernandez. As you can see, he wasn't really impressed with the important team, so we did give him the crucial. Hopefully that will be enough to secure his services. And yes, I do want a dirty little secret. It's something I like to have on a career mode, something that I bought in FIFA 14, I believe. It's a dirty little secret, my little touch on a career mode, because essentially all my signings moving forward, and obviously if we get Chicharito, are from you guys. So my dirty little secret, my little touch on the career mode is, of course, hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be Davy Klaassen, but 8.2 million. That really is a huge amount of our capital being outlaid on one player. But we do get some absolutely astounding news. Chicharito will become a West Ham United player on July the 1st or June the 1st. He will become a West Ham United player, which is absolutely sensational. I was very sceptical over paying out £130,000 a week, but I feel that he can deliver the goals to live up to that wage packet. And if it doesn't work out, he is worth 15 million. So perhaps we could do a deal if needs be. But Ajax say they want 11 million. We know they want 8.2, so I decide I'm going to go with 8 million. I don't want to pay the full amount. I really don't want to pay 8.2 million. I want to try and get myself a little bit of a deal. And as you can see, Morgan Alpha-Matano, unfortunately, will be going to Ajax if we can get the personal terms right with Davy Klaassen. If we can get these right, he's 22 years old. He can play as a cam. He can play in centre midfield. So he's got that little bit of versatility that I love and adore. So I can stick him on the right side of midfield. I can stick him just behind the strikers. He's got great passing statistics. He's great at shooting from distance. He does accept our contract, which I'm absolutely astounded with. I honestly am absolutely ecstatic to bring a dirty little secret to the career mode, and a player that I really, really do like. I use him so much on Ultimate Team. He's fantastic. His informed card is amazing. But that aside, let's look at some of the stupid transfers. PSG have just bought Lloris for 52 mil. Benitez has gone to Chelsea for 22 mil. I mean, they're already head and shoulders above everyone at the top of the Premier League, and they go out and buy another world-class centre-back just because they can. The transfer window shuts with 135 mil spent. Collins is able to return to the first team, which is absolutely fantastic. Really chuffed with that because we were a little bit short in the centre-back positions. And the youth squad is not looking too bad. We've got Kovic, not looking too bad. Potentially 79 to 85. Realistically, potential doesn't really bother me. If we can find one amazing potential player, that's fine. If we can then find a few average potentials, then they're the ones that normally do surprise you. I mean, we only have to remember Eduardo from the West Ham career on FIFA 13. His potential was actually quite average, but my God, he was head and shoulders one of the best youth players we ever produced, along with a young man from Argentina. Now, this is the twister and the teaser. Can you remember the young man from Argentina? Can you remember his name? If you can, post it in that comment section below. As we look at that table, we are still in second position, which is absolutely fantastic. Our goals conceded, it's just amazing. We have been so good defensively. And don't fear, don't panic. Legendary is coming. I think it's episode 23 or 24. Legendary kicks in, and hopefully we'll be able to see the season out and finish in the top 6. Who knows? It's going to be one hell of a run-in. We're now looking at the remaining games that we have. We're going to move into March. Stoke. Stoke is the first legendary game. So that's probably around about episode 23, 24. Stoke and Wigan will be in that episode, which will be fantastic. Then we have Man City. We move into April, and what a month April is. Liverpool, Everton, Newcastle, QPR, and Sunderland. That is an action-packed 5-game month, which is absolutely scary. I have got to admit, I am scared of that month. That could be quite a crucial month, but I will say, May is the big one. We play Chelsea, who hopefully by then would have wrapped up the title, so hopefully they'll put a bit of a weaker side, and if we do need to get some valuable points, we can nick it against Chelsea. But we do then follow up with Hull, should be an easy-ish game, and then of course West Bromwich Albion. Hopefully we can nick the points we need in those games, but I think it's just going to be an outrageous finish to the season, especially moving up to Legendary, because my fear with Legendary, as you guys have a look at the squad report, my big fear with Legendary, not that I'm scared to put it up to Legendary. You guys want Legendary. We're going up to Legendary. Next season will be Legendary. It's that simple. I've got no problem with that. Defensively, we've been doing so well. But the one thing we've been struggling with is scoring goals. So I feel the 2-1 games that we've won, or the 1-0 games that we've won a lot of, could now become 0-0 draws. Or my worst fear is 1-0 losses, 2-0 losses. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's got to go up to Legendary because we are second in the league, and I don't want to do everything in the first season. I think if we do continue on world class, we could really push Chelsea to within inches of the title, and I don't think that's correct. So for the sake of the career mode and for the sake of stressing me highly out, because Legendary can be a complete pain in the back doors, I feel it's the right thing to do. So you will get your wish. We will go to Legendary, and I'm definitely determined to finish in that top 6. I will do my absolute utmost to make sure the boys finish in that top 6 and we go into season 3 into Europe, which will be sensational. If you did see Davy K, have a wee look at his statistics. He is astounding. Anyway, that's enough. I will catch you later.
I used to dream about cars and things, about being a star and things. I thought that